gentlemen, boys and girls, Jeff here. Today we're going to get back to some pop culture. And my thanks to one, Mr. Jeremy of Geeks and Games, Jeremy Graves, who brought up this fact that, hell, even just some guy, black guy just like me, I'm half black, but anyways, talking about how these people are crying and peeing about there's no diversity in the Lord of the Rings. Like, I agree with Jeremy. They're not my absolute favorite movies of all time, but they definitely rank in the top 10. Hell, Return of the King's probably in my top 5. Hola, Diolingus! Yes, I love the Charge of Pelennor Field. No, I do not need to be white to appreciate them charging into fucking mortal danger for people who ain't even know their country, but they be humans, and it was time for the humans to come together to defeat a great evil. I'm gonna say this all to the fanatic people who scream diversity, 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 inclusivity, diversity. Go fuck yourselves! Seriously! There is not a goddamn thing wrong with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, coming from a half-white, half-black man. You know what I see? A bunch of motherfuckers who don't have any imagination. I can put myself in the boots of Aragorn when Boromir died. Any veteran worth his salt can do that. That hits deep with us. And I don't need to be white for that to hit with me. Or the fact that two very different people, a dwarf and an elf, formed a friendship that would last a lifetime. Where at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, they basically hated each other's guts. And then standing in front of the Black Gates, where Gimli says, never thought I'd be standing shoulder to shoulder with an elf in front of the Black Gates. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not getting the line completely correct. I need to rewatch them. I haven't watched them in a long time, but I did get the extended editions. But Legolas like, how about side by side with a friend? And Gimli goes, I can do that. That's a big goddamn thing coming A from Legolas and B from Gimli. Two people who do not like people, normally like people outside of their own race, out of being dwarf and elf. That speaks volumes to people who are willing to listen. But instead it's, no, they don't have the same skin tone as me. It's so wrong. It's like, grow a fucking imagination. Skin color shouldn't mean a damn. Shit, my wife is white. My son is mostly white. He's about quarter black. My daddy's white. My mama's black. You think skin color means a goddamn thing to us? No. And it shouldn't to you. But it's just, every time, it's always about your defining features. Who you go to bed with, what's between your legs, what's the color of your skin. And I'm sick of it. Lord of the Rings is a fucking masterpiece. It holds up just as good today as it did 20 years ago. I am still a major fan of... Now, The Hobbit, didn't do quite as much of a good job for me there. Peter Jackson, you should have just made that 2 movies and called it a day. But, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I loved it then, I love it now, and I love it probably to the day I die. And you can tell by the color of my skin, I ain't no white guy. I'm half white, half black. Peter Jackson did nothing wrong. All y'all screaming for diversity and inclusivity, grow a fucking imagination. That's what I gotta say to you. Grow a fucking imagination and a little bit of empathy. Put yourself in other people's shoes. How about we try that? Instead of every other character must be black, gay, lesbian, trans, blah, 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 blah. Or we just tell a story in a fantasy world and let the story tell itself. And, we can find things in each character that we can find within ourselves. Like, as much as I love Aragorn, I identify most with Samwise Gamgee. He is the everyman drawn into amazing circumstances and rises to the occasion. Think about it. Sam is every overweight fat motherfucker. Like myself, I'm overweight. I'm old and I'm slow. rising to the occasion presented before him, and does truly amazing things. Wasn't for Samwise Gamgee, that ring would have never been destroyed. Even the smallest person can make the biggest difference. That is a fucking message. Not just to white people, but to everybody.